In today's video, we are going to be breaking down Draymond Green and how he plays defense against some of the best players in the NBA. Let's get down and let's check out how he plays defense, because by breaking down Draymond Green, we can all become better defenders. So in this first clip, this is Draymond Green right over here. He is defending Kawhi Leonard, one of the best offensive players in basketball. And from here, what do we see? Well, first off, when he is getting ready to defend Kawhi Leonard, what does he do? Well, he is taking, of course, a stance where he's not forcing Kawhi left or right. He is playing him face up or straight up. That basically means that Kawhi Leonard needs to make a decision on which side to attack to make Draymond Green then force him in a certain direction. Draymond Green is essentially making Kawhi Leonard the decision maker on which way he wants to go. This is now benefiting Draymond Green because now he knows which way Kawhi Leonard wants to go in, and that's going to allow him to defend him better. Now, from there, what does he have? Well, this is a really good stance. He has his shoulders over his knees, over his toes. He is also up on his toes. We can tell by slight shadows underneath those feet. From there, what do we see? His hands are out. He's cutting away passing lanes or potential passing lanes. From there, when Kawhi Leonard goes and crosses over, that is when Draymond Green then drops his right foot. This is now making Kawhi Leonard, or at least trying to force Kawhi Leonard, to go towards that left side. But there's a caveat to that, and that is the fact that his left foot is still basically in the middle plane of Kawhi Leonard, which means that now if Kawhi Leonard was to then cross over, Draymond Green is going to be still in a good position to turn back the other way to continue to defend Kawhi Leonard. Now, Kawhi Leonard with that cross has created a little bit of separation, but Draymond Green is still in his stance. He has not become unbalanced. You want to always stay balanced when you're playing defense. To do that, you're going to have a very strong core. From there, he is still able, even after that cross, to then drop that left foot. Now, something that I really want to rewind just a little bit. Watch Kawhi Leonard's feet. Small steps, nothing big. No big steps, only small. You can recover with big steps. You do not want to play straight up or defending a very good offensive player by taking big steps. That's going to really slow you down on being able to defend him and potentially have that offensive player break your ankles. And of course, we don't want to get laughed at, so small steps is key. From there, when he drops that left foot, he is still balanced. He still has his lead foot, his shoulders pretty well over top. His center of mass is still very low. From there, he's able to recover fast enough when Kawhi Leonard shoots that ball. To do that, he now knows that Kawhi Leonard obviously can't dribble anymore, so he can jump out on this shot, but you need to be careful when you're jumping out on a shot. You don't want to jump into the body. You want to jump out towards the side. This is very key. So when that player does want to kick out, you can still block his shot, which does happen here, but instead of jumping into that body, we see Draymond Green jumping to the side of his body, which then allows him not to foul Kawhi Leonard. Fouling a three-point shooter is an extremely bad idea. We see this again here. So Draymond Green is playing him pretty well straight up, slightly forcing him towards the left side, or this player's right side, but from there, when that player starts to drive or act like he's going to drive towards that right side, Draymond Green is able to switch his body position to force that player continued towards that middle into that help defender. Now, this is important because this is showing small steps. You don't want to take big steps. Now, he was pushed back with that quick jab, but he was able to stay level. He was able to stay balanced. And by staying balanced, he was able to recover and then block that shot. Now on this help defense right here, if you're a help defender in the post, it doesn't matter how big you are, you want to take away passing lanes. So on a good defensive team, this man will then slide in and defend your initial player. You, as the help, need to come and block the forward progression of that offensive player. So by doing that, he's able to get his feet planted. This is huge. You really want to get your feet planted. Now, next, you want to have that hand up so that no passes can get through. It's a lot easier to bring your arm down to cut off a pass than it is to bring it up. So you want to start with your hand up. From there, he does jump, but he's jumped straight up. He doesn't jump into that player. When he does jump, he wants to have that left hand out. The reason for having that left hand out is, of course, for passes. Now, you can have your left hand down if you think that this player, you want to be watching his eyes at that point. If he is going to be passing low, he's going to be looking low at players. If he was looking up in this area, you would want to have your hand up. If he's looking down in this area, you want to have your hand down, and that's going to allow you to pick off passes like that. Now, this is really good post defense. So here we have Draymond Green. He is getting nice and low. You want to have a very low center of mass, especially if there's a height disadvantage to yourself in the low post. By having a low center of mass, this offensive player is going to have a harder time of trying to push you. You don't need to push an offensive player to defend him. You just need to be able to absorb the contact, have your feet planted, and then he's not going to be able to move you, which then allows him to be forced into either passing the ball or taking a fadeaway shot. So by having his chest out, being balanced, being low, he's now able to have his lead hand up, which is not going to be just only for contesting a shot, but also having that lead hand up to cut off any passes that are going through. Now, a help defender did come by and swipe at that ball, which did get that ball away from him, but I really want to emphasize being low and balanced, having that lead hand up, and that way you're not going to be getting any fouls, and you're going to be a much better defender, absorbing contact and then making that offensive player make that mistake. Now, when you're in a defensive stance, you want to be low, but you also want to have your shoulders over your knees, over your toes, like I've been saying earlier. But something about your hands. This is a very important part of defense, and that is by having your palms up. By having your palms up, what this allows you to do is to swipe at the ball without getting fouls in most cases. There's a referee right here. He could have called fouls on any contact, but by having your palms up and not having your arms up at first and swiping down, by swiping down, that's a foul motion. Whether you hit his arms or not, if there's any sound or any thought to this referee's mind saying that you fouled him, they're going to call it whether you hit him or not. But by having your hands low, palms up, that's going to allow you to swipe at balls much easier, especially when they start doing jab steps or swipe throughs. You're going to be able to get that ball much easier. Make sure really quickly to go check out the vertical jump training book down in the description below, especially if you want to be able to block more shots. Now, I hope that this video has helped you become a better defender. If it has, hit that like button and subscribe, and I'll see you guys again next time.